Hey guys, we are here at the Queen Mary Hotel, and we want to do a real quick kind of room review and talk a little bit about staying at the Queen Mary. We're only talking about the room itself. We're not talking about the entire ship. There's a lot of great things, a great deal of history, theming, all of that to the hotel. But we want to just talk a little bit about the room because coming out to Long Beach Comic Expo this weekend, we normally stay at the Hyatt. We were late on booking the room, so Carmel managed to find a really good deal. We were able to get, it was a 50% off 48-hour flash deal that they had. So we're staying here for $185. On top of that, there's for 2 nights, $185 for 2 nights. On top of that, $17 a day for parking and a $15 a day resort fee. So we were just kind of curious because we had not stayed at the Queen Mary before, and we thought this might actually help other people out as well. Because I think our ending feelings about staying here is really it's a definite must to stay one time. Not so sure it's a good fit for us to stay a second time, considering the price as expensive as it ends up being for the 2 nights, and just some of the things we've seen in terms of the room itself, the thinness of the walls being a major problem. I think there's even signs up in the lobby about making sure to be quiet because when the engines are not running, the walls are super thin and you can hear. So as we're recording this, I wouldn't be surprised if the rooms next to us are hearing every word. Last night as we were laying in bed, I mean, when you turn the TV off, we could hear every conversation on both sides of us, and that's for me a huge pet peeve. I'd rather be in a dirty hotel, to be honest, than a one with thin walls. So that's a problem. The other thing about it is just looking at, if we look over here and stuff, there's a lot of, things that are just kind of flawed and not in a cool kind of historic way. So if we look up, here, this is really cool and historical, this old original non-operational fan. But there's just a lot of things that aren't cool in that way. The elevators themselves are, fairly dilapidated looking. Even where you're pushing the buttons on the side, they don't have labels to them. So it's cool that you're kind of entering this old school elevator, but then the actual construction of how it looks right now, or I should say how it's been updated to times, doesn't really catch up with that. In the bathrooms, this is pretty awesome, and they don't work, but the, hot salt water, regular water, and the idea that that's, a very vintage thing there. But stuff like this is not vintage or cool, and so I think there's a fine line between vintage and fun versus, this is fine, the flushing the toilet this way. It's interesting, it's fun, it's fine. But again, a lot of the way things are constructed, the peeling away of stuff like this, it's not necessarily as cool. Nice comfy bed. We have the nicer bed. We upgraded a little bit there. Got this ensign, and again, cool little porthole looking thing, but all the kind of dirt or stains around it are not ideal here. And then, I don't know if the camera is picking this up, but you can just totally hear people just right outside the door here very easily there. So, in general, I mean, again, totally suggest staying here. It's a cool place to check out, and I think at the end of the day, that's probably, if you're watching this video and checking out the Queen Mary, that's all it really matters is whether or not you should stay here. And we definitely suggest staying here. I just think for us, it's not going to be a second stay. So, again, one time for sure. With Long Beach Comic Expo, we're not having a ton of time even to explore the rest of the boat, although we've done some of that in the past. But it could be a really fun weekend to just kind of lock in, stay here, take some of the tours, do all the fun stuff. There's great food, brunch options, things like that, bars, late night dance club, all that type of stuff. But in the coming back to the room, and again, how thin the walls are, some of the craftsmanship of what you have, the updates in a not so positive way, kind of bring it to a place that we definitely wouldn't be staying here again. I think we'll be back at the Hyatt across the way over there for Long Beach Expo. So hopefully this gives you a little idea. Again, highly suggest staying here at least once. You can make a decision if you want to stay here twice. I think for us it's going to be one and done though. So until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.